can there be an overall GOAT of the FGC? Now, it came up recently that there were talks of who's the GOAT of the FGC. Many people were saying Justin Wong. Many people were saying Sonic Fox. Many people were saying Daigo, the correct answer. But, but so it starts to beg the question, though, is like, can you really say that there's an overall GOAT of the FGC? I mean, it's kind of like sports. There's so many different sports. It's hard to say who's the GOAT of sports. And with fighting games, there's so many different fighting games. It's hard to say who's the GOAT of fighting games. Now, with the FGC, we do have the ability to where if someone plays Tekken, they can just as well go ahead and play Street Fighter. But you don't see that too much of somebody who plays basketball. They're playing football also, professionally. So we give the question to you guys: can there be an overall GOAT of the FGC, or do you have to just keep it to where it's someone's the GOAT of their individual game? So give it to Mr. Game and Lift.
I mean, you could do it in a few different ways. I think you can do like goats of specific games, but I do think there is a possible naming of FGC goats. Um, Me personally, Daigo and Justin Wong were definitely two of my choices. You could say to put Taquito in that rank. Um, it kind of Alex Valle even, um, I would say maybe even like somebody like Yipes. In the sense that he's like a really good player. Most games that he played, he was a Marvel 2 legend. And I think not only just because of the fighting game aspect, but like how they branch out into other things. Like with Yipes, he's a guy like commentator, so he's two sides of that. He's content creator doing other things. He's got a podcast, so that's like bringing a lot of extra things into the FGC besides just his gameplay and his legacy that he made with himself with fighting games. But I would personally say Justin Wong, just in my eyes, that he's played so many different games. He was a legend in so many games. Now he's doing like content creation. I feel like he's a person that really wants to support the community. He seems like a pretty nice, laid back guy. And he's for the growth of the FGC. So I think it kind of envelops it all because honestly, for me, well, I guess it's like subjective and objective because I was about to say if you had somebody that was like God like in fighting games, but they were maybe like a trash person and like personality wise, I wouldn't give them personally like the GOAT. I feel like it has to go deeper than that. It's like your overall like how you are as a person, your sportsmanship, how good you are. I guess those things can kind of be considered in that as well. But at the same time, I guess objectively, it's just your skill level. Like to me, Michael Jordan, I've heard a lot of stories about he wasn't the greatest person, but people say a lot of people say he was a go to basketball. So, um, yeah, I would definitely say Justin Wong's probably my pick. Also, even Daigo, like he's done things like the Evo 37 moment. I think doing things like that, like which go down in history. Like not many. I don't think many people have pulled off stuff like that. Like that is one of the moments in history that will go down forever in fighting games. And the fact that he did it just off of a whim, never practiced it, he was just like, yeah, I just did it because I'm Daigo. Stuff like that. I mean, you have to take into consideration. Also, people playing multiple games. Like Taquito plays a lot of games. Um,
Daigo
People
won in a
like
couple of games too. Like I think he won Capcom versus SNK and Vampire Slayer or games
yeah.
that.
Daigo's play. He used to play Guilty Gear. I think he's pretty good in that.
Yeah,
He's good
Guilty
in a
Gear
lot of
too.
games. Yeah. It's just like being able and the thing with like multiple fighting games, it's like some people can go from playing Tekken to playing Street Fighter just like it's nothing. Some even myself, sometimes I have to get used to like getting rid of habits like Tekken the wrong way. I might try to tech the way you tech throws in Street Fighter, the way I tech them in Tekken. So some people can just like switch from game to game. I think Sonic Fox has that ability. He can just switch from game to game, and it's just like there's nothing wrong with it. And some people have have a harder time doing this. It's a lot of different categories that I think kind of go into like what makes the FGC GOAT. Again, I say to me, I think Justin Wong is my personal pick. But yeah, I think you can have it. It depends on you would have to really sit down and make a list of like, okay, what are the things we're going to quantify, like their accolades, like how many events they won, how many games they're really good in, stuff like that. Like probably how many Evo titles they have. Things that you could probably do that. That would be a really simple one. Like who has the most Evo titles, and I guess that could be the FGC GOAT, which Sonic Fox is probably one of the top contenders for that. I would say. But yeah, that's my take on the FGC Go topic.
Um, as far as like the FGC GOAT thing, I think yeah, I kind of agree that I think maybe in my opinion it would probably be somebody like Justin Wong. I think um, somebody who not only like did who was a really good competitor, but somebody who contributes a lot to the FGC outside of actually competing in games. Um, like a lot of like he does like content creation and stuff like that. I mean, Justin Wong has done a lot. He's been a pillar in the community for a really long time, and he's earned it. I mean, he's really earned it. He's somebody who's definitely earned his stripes within the community. I think also like I mean, like I said, like Alex Valle is definitely another candidate that I would definitely put up. I think like Devin said. I mean, there are so many people who like people who play, people who like commentators, TOs, tournament organizers and stuff. Like there's so many people that like are really good candidates for the FGC GOAT, because when it comes down to is like, I mean, yeah, it's good that if you're really good at the fighting games, but what also keeps the community going is people who organize the events. People who come in and they're like, hey man, like I have a vision for this event and I have a specific way I want it to be done. And we need ways to keep people coming in every year or every week or every month or what have you. So I think, it's best. I mean, I'm not sure exactly who I would like put up, but if I had to name somebody, I would say Justin Wong. But I think it'd be prudent to if we were going to consider an FGC GOAT, we would have to pull from the FGC as a whole, and like really like recognize everybody who does like not only like playing like competitors and content creators, but also definitely our TOs who actually give us the stages for all of these like epic events to happen, for people to like temper themselves and become better players and stuff. Like how many people have like put hours and hours and hours and like and dollar after dollar after dollar after dollar into making this environment, this ecosystem that for people to come in and like really not only play but make bonds with each other, to grow with each other. There's so many people in the FGC that have like known each other for years that go to tournaments and they compete with each other, and they're people who are rivals, people who are buddies, who make each other better, like who drive each other to become better versions of themselves, not only in video games but like in general. So yeah, I think it would be but like I said, if I had to choose somebody, it would definitely be Justin Wong.
A name I didn't hear people say a lot when I was seeing this online and stuff was Go One Go Ichi. I mean, he's like the
I was
king
actually
of
about
all
to
those
mention it.
games that you never heard of, that people always say like those anime fighters. He was just like the god of all those games. So that was a name I didn't hear